Hello everyone and welcome back to the Overthinking Tea. As I made an about 8-minute long video related to Master Yoda, you better check that out, I woke up with the idea of doing another video about him, but this time differently. We are ranking all the mainline Star Wars movies based on how well they use Master Yoda. As my favorite character in the Star Wars universe, Yoda has left a lasting impression on all of us. Whether he is delivering sage wisdom, engaging in epic lightsaber duels, or just being his quirky self.
Get out of there!
Stick around to see which film tops my list and why. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Oh, and a quick shout out to the great channel of Chef Willis Productions for inspiring this idea. If you like this video, go check out their channel too. Now, let's get right into it. Kicking off our list at the bottom is The Force Awakens. There's not much to say about this one. Yoda isn't utilized in any way, shape or form. No voice, no Force Ghost, nothing. This is why it sits in the last place. Next up, we have A New Hope. Quite obvious too, as this film is the other one where Yoda doesn't have any lines or appearance. I just ranked it above The Force Awakens out of respect. In this film, Obi-Wan never mentions Yoda as the Jedi Master that instructed him, because that idea was actually invented for The Empire Strikes Back. Yoda's existence was never planned.
Yoda didn't exist, because literally in the third week of shooting the first film, I rewrote it and killed him. Then, when I went to do the second movie, I had killed off the main Jedi teacher. So I had to create a new one, and I didn't want it to be another just clone of Obi-Wan, because Obi-Wan was the guy. And so I had him come back as a spirit.
Luke, Ben, you will go to the Dagobah system.
Then used Yoda, an Uber Jedi Master who taught Obi-Wan, and made him a little creature so that he would be interesting to listen to for what amounts to about 20 minutes of the movie.
It doesn't feel right to have the movie that started it all in the 8th place, but it is how it is. Coming in at number 7 is The Rise of Skywalker. The first film that has a little green friend actually in it. During the climatic battle between Rey and Palpatine, we hear Yoda's voice say, This line is meant to inspire Rey, by reminding her that all the past Jedi are with her. It connects the saga's legacy characters with the new generation. However, this brief cameo lacks the visual and emotional impact of Yoda's other appearances. There's this fan edit where the Force Ghosts actually appear to help Rey. That would have been nice, but let's not get into missed opportunities, that would take way too long. I think there should have been more Yoda scenes. Of course we already have Luke as a teacher of Rey, but I mean, everyone was brought back and he was one of the most important and iconic Jedis, so I don't know. Anyway, next up is the Phantom Menace. Yoda's role here is quite limited. He mainly sits on the Jedi Council voicing his concerns about Anakin. I don't think George really had an idea how to integrate Yoda into the story. Also, the way he welcomes Anakin is kinda cold and not fitting his character. Obviously it's dangerous to train him because of his age and emotions, but I expected him to talk differently to a little kid, especially if you use the original trilogy as a comparison. As George was steering the ship alone for the first time, maybe we need to find a reason there. Always two there are, no more, no less. A master and an apprentice is a quote that resonated with me because it expands the lore, which is something. Yoda was portrayed as a different puppet that would later be replaced with a digital version in a 2011 Blu-ray release. There are a lot of people that criticize the use of CGI in the prequels, but in the case of Yoda, I think the CGI version definitely does a better job. Moving on to number 5, Attack of the Clones gave us our first taste of Yoda in action. His duel with Count Dooku was intense, showcasing his power and agility, especially as a child. Nowadays, I would say it's a little over the top, and the way he jumps around looks a little silly. Still, I would say it was a good decision to show us a fight of Yoda, even though I would have done it less overexcited. His memorable quote,
"Much to learn. You still have,"
directed at his former Padawan, is iconic. This film also shows Yoda's vulnerability as he fails to foresee the production of the clones, highlighting that even the wisest can be deceived. I think that was important to show. Yoda's involvement in the politics of the Republic adds depth to his character, portraying his struggle to maintain peace in a galaxy on the brink of war. Overall, a decent representation. At number 4 is The Last Jedi. Although the movie itself is divisive, Yoda's portrayal is spot on. Appearing as a Force Ghost on Luke's island, Yoda provides wisdom and guidance, burning the ancient Jedi text, which at first glance seems out of character, because he himself built it over hundreds of years. But he does it for Luke, so he can look past the pile of old books, to push Luke to move beyond the past. I have to admit, I like the idea of Yoda basically saying they were wrong, and that they should help Rey find a new path, rather than force her down the one they walked. I also want to include the quote,
The greatest teacher failure is.
It resonates deeply, tying back to Luke's failure in The Empire Strikes Back. The mix of puppet and CGI for Yoda's appearance worked well, and his brief screen time was impactful. This scene alone makes Yoda's appearance in The Last Jedi memorable and well executed. To be honest, the only reason this film isn't higher is because of the screen time, which is rather low in comparison. But shout out to Ryan, at least he didn't ruin my man Yoda. Number 3 on our list is Revenge of the Sith. Yoda plays a crucial role here, battling Emperor Palpatine in one of the saga's most intense duels. I gotta say, way better than the fight with Dooku. But this fight isn't just physical, but a symbolic clash of ideologies between the Jedi and the Sith. With around 10 minutes of screen time, Yoda's leadership and wisdom are on full display as he tries to prevent the fall of the Republic. His line,
Into exile I must go. Failed I have.
marks an important moment of defeat. At this point, he accepts defeat, but also directly initiates reconstruction in secret. I think this is completely underrated since he's kind of the pioneer for the Rebel Alliance. Yoda plays a very significant role in Revenge of the Sith, setting the stage for the original trilogy, and therefore, number 3 it is. Now we have 2 films left to rank, Return of the Jedi and The Empire Strikes Back. And in second place we have Return of the Jedi. Yoda's role is brief but incredibly impactful. His death scene is heart-wrenching, and his final words to Luke,
When gone am I, the last of the Jedi will you be?
set the stage for the film's climax. The emotional weight of Yoda's scenes in this movie is undeniable, and his passing of crucial knowledge to Luke is beautifully portrayed. I love everything about him in this film, the way he is portrayed and the way his character is completed. I have to say, it's a close one between Return of the Jedi and Revenge of the Sith, but in terms of dialogue and presence, I just prefer this Yoda. The Yoda of the original trilogy just seems more perfected and original. That's just subjective. Please tell me in the comments how you decided. Finally, in the first place, we have The Empire Strikes Back, the movie that introduced us to Yoda. His teachings to Luke are filled with wisdom and humor, with classic lines like,
Try not. Do. Or do not. There is no try.
This film cements Yoda's place as a mentor figure in Star Wars. With about 13 minutes of screen time, Yoda's profound and charming character development makes this film a fan favorite. His guidance and training are pivotal, and his impact on Luke's journey is undeniable. Yoda's presence in this movie is nothing short of iconic, solidifying it as the top Yoda movie in the Star Wars saga. As I mentioned in the beginning, I made a whole video where I talked about why I think he is the reason The Empire Strikes Back is so great, so be sure to check that out. And that's it for the ranking. I hope you enjoyed the video, and please let me know whether you agree with my ranking in the comments. And if not, tell me about your ranking. I'm very curious. Everything that's left to say is, may the Force be with you. Always.